Vietnam, a land of breathtaking landscapes and rich traditions, but also a place where the rules are a bit different. From shocking habits to cultural quirks, there are things here that might raise eyebrows in the USA, and some that will leave you speechless. For example, did you know that public displays of affection, including kissing, are completely fine in Vietnam but heavily frowned upon in some parts of the world? Stick around because the one thing on this list is so unusual it might blow your mind. We're in Vietnam and this place is amazing. We're talking beautiful scenery, tasty food, and a culture that's so vibrant it's like a whole different world. But here's the thing about Vietnam. The rules are a little different. Things that might seem strange back home are totally normal here. We're talking public displays of affection, crazy street food, and traffic that's unbelievable. Over the next few minutes, we're looking at 8 Vietnamese habits that will make you rethink what's normal. Get ready, because number 1 is so wild, it might blow your mind. Okay, let's talk about PDA. Public displays of affection can be a bit of a touchy subject depending on where you are in the world. In lots of places, being affectionate in public is a no-no. It's often frowned upon and people might give you disapproving looks or even say something. Not in Vietnam. Here, holding hands, cuddling, even a little kiss, totally fine, especially for young people. It's almost like a cultural norm, a way to express love openly without any fear of judgment. It's actually kind of nice. Love is everywhere and no one cares. You see couples sitting together, walking hand in hand, and just enjoying each other's company. It's a refreshing change from the more reserved attitudes you might find elsewhere. I remember walking through a park in Ho Chi Minh City and couples were everywhere, just relaxing and enjoying each other. It was like a scene from a romantic movie, with everyone lost in their own little world of affection. No judgment, no weird stares, just pure affection. It's a beautiful thing to witness and it makes you realize how love can be so simple and pure when it's not clouded by societal expectations. It makes you think about how we can be back home, right? How often do we hold back from showing affection because we're worried about what others might think? I'm not saying you should make out in Times Square, but a little hand-holding, a quick kiss? These small gestures can mean a lot and can spread a bit of joy and love in our everyday lives. Why not spread the love? After all, love is a universal language, and a little bit of affection can go a long way in making the world a warmer, more connected place. Okay, this one amazed me. Vietnam is a country full of surprises, and this one is definitely a highlight. Imagine this. You're walking down the street and want a cold beer. The sun is shining, the streets are bustling with life, and you just want to quench your thirst with something refreshing. In most US cities, you'd have to find a bar, sit down, order from a waiter, the whole thing. It can be a bit of a hassle, especially if you're just looking for a quick drink to cool down. Not in Vietnam. Here you can buy a beer from a street vendor and drink it right there on the sidewalk. It's incredibly convenient and adds to the vibrant street culture. No problem. No open container laws, just pure cold refreshment. You don't have to worry about finding a place to sit or dealing with any restrictions. It's like the whole country is one big beer garden. The atmosphere is lively, and everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. Can you imagine the craziness if we tried this back home? Police would be everywhere. The idea of drinking openly on the streets would be met with strict enforcement. But here, it's just part of the culture. It's a normal, everyday thing to see people enjoying a beer on the sidewalk. People hang out on the sidewalks, share a few beers, and relax. It's all about community. Friends and strangers alike come together to enjoy a drink in each other's company. And honestly, after a long day of exploring, there's nothing better than a cold beer while watching the world go by. It's a simple pleasure that makes the experience of traveling in Vietnam even more special. As the sun sets, the streets come alive with even more energy. The warm glow of the evening light, the chatter of people, and the clinking of beer bottles create a magical atmosphere. Street musicians start playing, and sometimes you'll even see people dancing. It's a celebration of life, freedom, and the simple joys that come with it. The beer itself is often local, brewed with care and tradition. Each sip is a taste of the culture and history of Vietnam. So next time you find yourself in Vietnam, don't miss out on this unique experience. Grab a beer, find a spot on the sidewalk, and toast to freedom. Okay, get ready for this one because it's wild. Vietnam is a country full of surprises, and one of the most fascinating aspects is how people navigate the bustling streets. Imagine a place where the streets are alive with the hum of motorbikes, each one weaving through traffic with an almost magical precision. Motorbikes are everywhere in Vietnam. It's not just a mode of transportation, it's a way of life. From the early morning until late at night, the streets are filled with the constant flow of motorbikes. It's like a river of metal and rubber flowing through the veins of the city. But it's not just one person per bike. Oh no, that would be too simple. Here, you'll see entire families riding together. It's not uncommon to see a family of 5, with the youngest child sandwiched between the parents, all balancing precariously on a single motorbike. We're talking whole families, pets, groceries, everything, all on one motorbike. It's like a mobile home on 2 wheels. You might see a dog happily perched on the handlebars or a week's worth of groceries strapped to the back. It's a sight to behold. I've seen it all. A family of 5, a pile of chickens, even livestock being transported. It's a testament to the ingenuity and adaptability of the Vietnamese people. They make it work, no matter how impossible it may seem. Even a refrigerator strapped to a bike. Yes, you heard that right. A full-sized refrigerator, somehow balanced and secured on a motorbike. It's like watching a real-life game of Tetris where every piece has to fit perfectly to avoid disaster. It's like a game of Tetris, and these people are the champions. They navigate through the chaotic traffic with an ease that seems almost supernatural. Each motorbike is like a puzzle piece, fitting perfectly into the ever-changing landscape of the streets. And you know what? It works! They zip through traffic, go down narrow alleys, and somehow manage to keep everything balanced. It's a skill that takes years to master, and it's something that has to be seen to be believed, all while balancing these crazy loads. It's a dance of sorts, a carefully choreographed performance that plays out every day on the streets of Vietnam. The riders have an incredible sense of balance and timing, making it all look effortless. It's amazing and scary at the same time. You can't help but marvel at their skill, but there's always that underlying tension, wondering if this will be the time something goes wrong. Yet more often than not, they pull it off without a hitch. I tried to be like a local and ride a bike with a backpack and some groceries. Let me tell you, it's not as easy as it looks. I wobbled and weaved, struggling to keep my balance. The locals made it look so effortless, but for me it was a challenge just to stay upright. Let's just say I'll stick to taxis. After my attempt, I have a newfound respect for the motorbike riders of Vietnam. They truly are the unsung heroes of the streets, mastering the art of Tetris in a way that is both awe-inspiring and humbling. Chapter 4: Wildlife Trade, a Cultural Conundrum. This one's a tough topic, but we need to talk about it. In some Vietnamese markets, you'll see exotic animals being sold as pets, or even food. I know this is a long-standing cultural practice, but it's definitely something that raises concerns in the West. Selling endangered species is a serious problem, and it's important to think about how our actions affect the environment and animals. I'm not here to judge, but I think it's important to talk about these things and be responsible tourists. Chapter 5: Fireworks at Home, Celebrating with a Bang. Remember setting off fireworks as a kid? Well, in Vietnam they take fireworks to a whole new level. During Tet, the Vietnamese New Year, families light fireworks right in their neighborhoods. It's like a huge party of explosions and colorful lights. The streets are filled with the sound of firecrackers and the air smells like gunpowder. It's crazy, it's loud, and it's a lot of fun. I can't imagine doing that back home. The neighbors would freak out, but here it's part of the celebration. Chapter 6: Public Gambling, Testing Your Luck, Vietnamese Style, Gambling. Some people think it's bad, some people love it. In Vietnam it's just another way to have fun. You'll see people playing cards, mahjong, and other games in cafes and tea houses. It's a social thing, a way to spend time and maybe win some money. I'm not saying you should gamble all your money away, but it's interesting to see how different cultures view it. Chapter 7: Street Vendors Everywhere, a culinary adventure on every corner. One of my favorite things about Vietnam is the street food. It's everywhere. From busy markets to quiet streets, you'll find vendors selling everything from bowls of pho to banh mi sandwiches. The best part? It's all super tasty and really cheap. It's like a food adventure everywhere you go. And the vendors are so passionate about their cooking, they put their heart into every dish. Chapter 8: Non-Traditional Medicine, Ancient Remedies, and Modern Skepticism. Okay, this last one is definitely interesting. Traditional Vietnamese medicine uses herbs and ancient practices. You'll see stalls selling all sorts of potions and dried herbs that claim to cure everything from a cold to serious illnesses. I'm not saying you should stop seeing your doctor and only use these remedies, but it's cool to see how different cultures think about healthcare. It's a mix of tradition, belief, and a connection to nature. Outro Vietnam. a land of surprises. So there you have it. 8 surprising Vietnamese habits that might make you rethink what's normal. But that's the great thing about traveling, right? It opens your mind to new cultures and new ways of life. Vietnam is a country that's always changing, a mix of old and new. It's where ancient customs meet modern life. What surprised you the most about Vietnam? Tell me in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more cultural videos from around the world. Peace out.